Welcome to the Psychology and Physical Training channel. Being ignored. It's a universal experience, as common as a rainy day and just as unwelcome. It can happen to anyone at any time. Whether it's a loved one who seems distant, a friend who no longer returns your calls, or a colleague who excludes you from a meeting, being ignored can leave us feeling hurt, confused, and even angry. It's a feeling that can linger, affecting our mood and our outlook on life. Remember that time you poured your heart out to someone only to be met with silence? It stings, doesn't it? Or when you eagerly shared an idea and it was completely disregarded. These moments can be incredibly disheartening. These moments, no matter how big or small, can chip away at our sense of self-worth and leave us questioning our value. They make us wonder if we matter at all. The truth is, being ignored is a painful experience. It's more than just a slight. It's a deep emotional wound. It's a rejection of our basic human need for connection and belonging. We all crave to be seen, heard, and valued. But remember, even in these moments of isolation, you are not truly alone. Many have felt this way, and many have found their way back to connection. Why ignoring hurts? To understand the profound impact of being ignored, we need to look at our biology. Our brains and bodies are intricately connected, and social interactions play a crucial role in our overall well-being. As humans, we are wired for connection. It's in our DNA to seek out and maintain relationships with others. From the moment we are born, we seek out the warmth and security of human interaction. Babies instinctively reach out for their parents, and as we grow, our need for social bonds only intensifies. Our brains are literally designed to crave connection, releasing feel-good hormones like oxytocin and dopamine when we experience a sense of belonging. These chemicals not only make us feel good, but also reinforce our social behaviors. When we are ignored, this innate need for connection is disrupted. The absence of social interaction can leave us feeling isolated and rejected. Our brain interprets this social disconnect as a threat, triggering the same areas that are activated during physical pain. This response is deeply rooted in our evolutionary history, where social bonds were essential for survival. This is why being ignored can feel like a punch to the gut, even if no physical harm is inflicted. The emotional distress can manifest in physical symptoms, making the experience even more challenging. Studies have shown that social rejection, including being ignored, can lead to increased activity in the anterior cingulate cortex, the part of the brain associated with processing physical pain. This overlap explains why the pain of being ignored feels so tangible. This explains why the emotional pain of being ignored can feel so real and intense. It's not just in our heads, it's a genuine, measurable response in our brains, highlighting the profound impact of social connections on our mental and physical health. What being ignored is telling you. While being ignored is undoubtedly painful, it's important to remember that it's often a symptom of a larger issue, a signal flare that something needs to change. Instead of simply feeling hurt and withdrawing, we can choose to view these experiences as opportunities for growth and self-reflection. Think of being ignored as a wake-up call, a nudge from the universe to examine our relationships and our own behavior. Are we surrounding ourselves with people who value and respect us? Are we communicating our needs effectively? Being ignored can also be a sign that we need to focus on our own well-being. Are we neglecting our own needs in order to please others? Are we staying in relationships that no longer serve us? Is it time for a tune-up? When we repeatedly find ourselves on the receiving end of being ignored, it's time for a relationship checkup. Just like a car needs regular maintenance to run smoothly, so do our relationships. This means taking the time to assess the health of our connections and making adjustments where necessary. Ask yourself, do I feel heard and valued in this relationship? Is there mutual respect and reciprocity? If the answer is no, it may be time to have an honest conversation with the other person about your needs and expectations. Remember, healthy relationships are built on a foundation of open communication, empathy, and mutual respect. If these elements are missing, it's unlikely that the relationship will thrive. Section 5. Looking inward. What's your role? While it's important to examine the dynamics of our relationships, it's equally crucial to look inward and acknowledge our own role in the situation. Are we contributing to the dynamic of being ignored? Perhaps we are overly accommodating, constantly putting the needs of others before our own. Maybe we struggle with setting boundaries, allowing others to walk all over us? Or perhaps we have a pattern of attracting people who are emotionally unavailable or dismissive. Self-reflection can be uncomfortable, but it's an essential step in breaking free from patterns of being ignored. By understanding our own behaviors and motivations, we can start to make different choices that lead to healthier, more fulfilling relationships. Section 6. Healthy communication, the antidote to being ignored. One of the most effective ways to combat being ignored is to become a more effective communicator. This involves not just speaking, but also listening and understanding the dynamics of a conversation. This means learning to articulate our needs and expectations clearly and respectfully, while also being mindful of the other person's perspective. It's about creating a dialogue where both parties feel heard and valued. Start by practicing assertive communication. Assertiveness is key in expressing yourself without stepping on others' toes. This involves expressing your thoughts and feelings directly, without being aggressive or passive-aggressive. It's a balanced approach that respects both your own needs and the needs of others. For example, instead of saying, "You never listen to me," try, "I feel unheard when I share my thoughts, and I would appreciate it if you could make an effort to listen." This way you are expressing your feelings without blaming the other person. It's also important to be an active listener. Active listening is more than just hearing words. It's about understanding the message behind them. When someone is speaking to you, give them your full attention. Show that you are engaged and interested in what they have to say. Put away your phone, make eye contact, and really listen to what they're saying without interrupting or formulating your response. This shows respect and helps build a stronger connection. By practicing these communication skills, you can create more meaningful interactions and reduce the chances of feeling ignored. Remember, effective communication is a two-way street. Section 7. Setting boundaries. Respect starts with you. Setting boundaries is crucial for healthy relationships and for protecting ourselves from being ignored. Boundaries are essentially the limits and rules we set for ourselves in order to protect our well-being and maintain healthy relationships. When we don't set boundaries, we give others permission to disrespect us, which can manifest as being ignored. Start by identifying your non-negotiables. What are the behaviors that you will absolutely not tolerate from others? Once you are clear about your boundaries, communicate them clearly and respectfully to the other person. It's important to remember that setting boundaries is not about controlling others. It's about taking care of ourselves. Section 8. Shifting your focus. From external validation to inner strength. Often, when we feel ignored, it's because we are seeking validation from external sources. We crave the attention and approval of others to feel good about ourselves. This external focus can leave us feeling empty and insecure, especially when those needs are not met. Instead of seeking validation from others, focus on cultivating inner strength and self-love. When we believe in our own worth, we are less reliant on the opinions of others. Engage in activities that bring you joy and make you feel good about yourself. Spend time with people who appreciate and value you. Remember, true validation comes from within. Section 9. Finding your tribe, surrounding yourself with support. When we are surrounded by people who love and support us, the sting of being ignored is less intense. It's essential to cultivate relationships with people who lift us up, encourage us, and make us feel seen and heard. Take an inventory of your relationships. Are there people in your life who consistently make you feel good about yourself? Make an effort to nurture these relationships. If you find yourself surrounded by people who are emotionally draining or who consistently make you feel small, it may be time to create some distance. Remember, you are worthy of love and belonging. Section 10. Turning pain into power, the transformative potential of being ignored. Being ignored, while painful, can be a catalyst for profound personal growth. It can force us to confront uncomfortable truths about ourselves and our relationships. Instead of allowing these experiences to break us, we can choose to use them as fuel for transformation. View these challenges as opportunities to develop resilience, self-awareness, and emotional intelligence. Each time you encounter being ignored, ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? Use these experiences to strengthen your sense of self-worth, set healthier boundaries, and cultivate more fulfilling relationships. Remember, our greatest challenges often lead to our greatest growth. Section 11. Your journey to growth, embrace the lessons. Being ignored is an inevitable part of the human experience. It's something we will all encounter at some point in our lives. But it doesn't have to define us. We have the power to choose how we respond to these experiences. Instead of allowing being ignored to diminish our sense of self-worth, we can choose to see it as a catalyst for growth. We can use these experiences to learn about ourselves, set healthy boundaries, and cultivate more fulfilling relationships. Remember, you are worthy of love, respect, and belonging. Embrace the lessons that being ignored offers and allow them to guide you on your journey to wholeness and self-discovery. And if you like this video, do not forget to subscribe and follow the Psychology and Physical Training channel for more videos. Thanks for joining me today on this journey.